I was like, I'm so sorry. It's a private event. You have to be on the list to get in. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then afterwards, my staff were like, Julia, that was A$AP Rocky. He just came in to get crepes and some smoothies or something and was like, all right, let me check out this sex party. I learned to run a proper business by just doing and failing and iterating and improving. It was a lot of like things like, ring this gong whenever your team sells something. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to ring any gongs, but like you get the gist, vibe, you know? Yeah. I wasn't on top of them being like, and now you do this.
Hello.
Yeah. If there's anything repetitive that needs to happen, then it would be digital. And people who are vegan and gluten-free, they're just like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I can't do anything at all for this 4-hour shift. I'm just gonna have my podcast playing. I'm gonna be folding towels. And I'm sorry, if there are any fires, you guys have to deal with them. For 4 hours, I think you got it. So the way I accomplished it right off the bat is just being naive and not knowing what I don't know, you know? And I'm like, yeah, we can do that.
I love it.
And then like taking small pieces and like, okay, yeah, we can do this one small chunk of it and then like think about the rest later, and then it just ends up happening. You know? Okay, first advice, don't do it.
Hi, this is She Did It Show, and I'm your host, Daria. Today, I'm so excited to present you our guest, Julia Kravets. Julia is a software engineer and founder of the first fully vegan and gluten-free crepery in New York City, Little Choc Apothecary. She built her restaurant in 2014 and successfully ran her business for the last 8 years. Now she is selling her restaurant and started to pursue her career in tech. She studied in Web Development Fellowship, Scholarship Program and Full Stack Academy, worked on Twitter, and this week she started working at Etsy. Hi, Julia.
Hi.
So nice to see you. I'm so excited, and yeah, actually, when we met with you, you told me such a funny story. It was a funny story I've heard for last month about how A$AP Rocky did not join the party in your restaurant. Yeah, and it's just like, and so many stories you shared about your entrepreneurship journey. And I want just to talk with you about that. I want to talk about your experience emerging the software and tech to your brand, to your business, and about your tech career today. So my congratulations first that you joined Etsy today.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited. So we'll talk about that for sure. But first, I would love to start. How did you start your restaurant business in New York City?
Sure. So I was young. I was in my early 20s, and I was modeling, and so I had a lot of time I was traveling for work, so I had a lot of time by myself. And I really wanted to, I was always on the look for a restaurant that was really healthy and you can eat anything you want and your body would absorb it and do things with it that, you know, your body's meant to do with food and not just like junk food full of sugar and, you know, all this, these terrible things. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna open a restaurant that I want to eat at. And I was like, okay, I don't know anything about this. I was never a manager of anything. I never managed a restaurant. I only worked at a restaurant as a hostess. So it was like a complete blank canvas. And I was like, all right, well, where do we start? Let's write a business plan. Oh, I don't know how to write a business plan. Let me teach myself how to write a business plan. So I spent the next 2 years basically writing this business plan. And it was kind of an exercise to just I was like, this is the ultimate goal to open this restaurant, but it's like a learning experience, and I was just having a good time, just learning how to do this. So I finally finished the business plan. I was like, okay, what's next? I have to take some cooking classes, probably. So I took a bunch of classes at Natural Gourmet Institute. It was like a plant-based cooking school in New York City. They've unfortunately shut down or were like merged into the CIA or the Culinary Institute, not the CIA, not the government agency.
What's in my head? Like, right.
It's like the Culinary Institute.
Culinary Institute. Okay.
It's like one of the big ones. Anyway,
right.
so they.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure if they ended up joining them or they didn't. But anyway, they were a great. Like a lot of the chefs that worked at Little Choc graduated from there. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, so I took a bunch of cooking classes.
And how long it was like for?
I would say it was like a couple of months, like 6 months.
Yeah.
I didn't do the program or anything. I wasn't like a chef program. It was just like picking classes.
I want to focus on something, what I need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everything, but to do.
So there was a lot of like
awesome.
Baking, cake decorating, like tempeh making, it was a lot of really cool stuff. I'm actually kind of sad that they're closed. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of recipes under my sleeve, and I was like, all right, well.
And you had a business plan.
I had a business plan. I had some menu, like a basic menu, and I was like,
I'm raising.
I guess next step is raising money. So I did a Kickstarter, and the way Kickstarter works is you have to raise the entire amount. Otherwise, you don't get the money.
If not a secret, how much?
I was asking for $80,000, which is way less than what a restaurant needs to actually open.
Like
but
on a budget, yeah.
Very under budget. But that's what I was asking for. That's what my business plan. That's what I kind of made up in my business plan. And I only ended up raising $40,000, which is still kind of a lot. It's
a lot. It's not bad.
But I didn't get the funding, obviously. However,
why didn't you get the funding?
Because the way Kickstarter works is you have to raise the entire sum that you're asking for, and if it's below that, then
they don't give it.
You don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So through that, I had met some investors.
All right.
Who,
so
were like, all right, let's do it. So, but basically, I had a meeting with them, and I brought all the things that I've prepared. I brought snacks. I brought the things that I was going to have on the menu, It
was like a regular meeting. You just set up an appointment and you met.
Yeah, together. Exactly. Yeah. So it was 3 guys initially. And so I brought everything that I had. I had my business plan. I brought my, a variety of desserts that I made, which they ended up liking. But throughout that, I was kind of selling myself mostly and how prepared I was because, the recipes were good, but the business plan was kind of like business 101, like college class, So.
But what was your strong pitch points which you brought to this meeting?
Like being prepared and on top of it. So I actually made 3D renderings of what the restaurant was going to look like, even though I didn't have the actual space. I was like, this will do. It'll have big windows, Yeah. So yeah, basically I was kind of one step ahead of things that they were asking, and they were like, oh, cool. She's going to do this. Yeah, she's prepared, and she seems like she thinks about a lot of different aspects of things. So they ended up investing fully, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. Okay.
From the first shop, yeah? Yeah, you go to
Yes.
the supermarket. Yeah.
So that was nice.
That's nice. Yeah. So what are those essential things and what you should have to start the restaurant in New York City? Like business plan, but what exactly you need to count on in this business plan?
So I wouldn't say there's like a set list of things that there's not like tasks that you need to check off to open a restaurant business.
It's like inventory, like those things, like how you spent on stuff.
Right. So it was kind of a figuring out process. So yeah, I guess the first step was to build out the entire restaurant. I had a chef friend come in and, walk me through the way a kitchen layout should look like, and I was like, do I like cook everything the day of? And he's like, no, you do prep. So, there's a lot of amateur questions that I had, and thank God I had people in my people to reach out to for these things. I actually met random people. There's like guys who were opening up a coffee shop nearby, and I was like, hey, I'm just like right ahead, just behind you. You did it like 4 months. You're 4 months ahead of me, so tell me all you need to know. So they told me all the different, different licenses I need to have and all these different things that you need in order to have an operating food business. So that was really nice. So basically just like getting a lot of help along the way. And our first day was kind of a disaster because
it's normal.
Yeah.
In a place.
So it was just a full house. We had Gothamist write about us that we were opening, and full house, no one knows what they're doing. And I was just like, oh God, what's going on? What did I get myself into? It was, but obviously you learn from your mistakes and you keep going. So we made some changes and, had people on different stations and finally learned to run a proper business by just like doing and failing and, iterating and improving and ended up.
Amazing. So what are those challenges or like some little or big failures you experienced during the way building your business?
So a lot of challenging things. First, for me personally, the challenging thing is like managing people. And I was, like listening to a lot of podcasts and reading a lot of books on like great management strategies and just like making sure that people are happy. Keeping people happy is really hard.
How did you reach this goal? Did you implement some techniques or something?
Yeah, so I think people don't like being micromanaged. So my entire goal was to not micromanage people. So there was like, I would constantly design all these different systems and, like improve workflows. If there's any repetitive tasks, like for training, if there's anything repetitive that needs to happen, then, it would be digital. I would, let's say we're training a new employee and they need to learn how to make a latte for the first time. So I made a video of how to make a latte because, our staff would have to make these, they would have to show them anyway, right? So It's like, hey, watch this video.
Let's do it once.
Yeah, so like showing it once on video. So basically they sat through a bunch of videos. And then once they get into actually like working and testing it out for themselves, they have this, somewhat of a knowledge in their in the back of their mind. They're like, oh, okay, so we went over this, and now I can like work. And obviously they're supervised and things like that. But so we did tasks were all digital, and it wasn't like, there was no guesswork and like, oh, well, we need to, I don't know, like clean this one area of the restaurant like every month, for example, so it's like the recurring tasks would remind you. So it takes the guesswork out of doing tasks that are not necessarily like, you don't have to repeat them often, So like scheduling these things. So basically, I wasn't on top of them being like, and now you do this.
Hello.
Yeah, and I hate that myself, is like just being like, feeling like I'm monitoring somebody constantly. It's just not my vibe at all. So
you wanted to keep like a friendly relations, to make everything clear. But did you use any tool? I know there are lots of like different tools when you can schedule those things or communicate with the team. Especially there were like some tools for restaurants, maybe something. What did you use?
So actually I was very like tech forward. So this app called Slack, it's a communication app that a lot of tech companies use. And I was like one of the first. I was like, all right, it's out. We're using it at Little Choc. Email is not good for communication.
Email, no.
Yeah. So, it was like all these systems, like, all right, so now we have evening reports, so we have the Slack channel, and just put in your report for like what needs to happen the next day, what you missed maybe. So that was good. The other thing is recording tips. So you want to, cash tips are kind of hard to record. So I basically had some integrations into Slack, into a Slack channel, and it would go into a Google Sheet, and then a bunch of formulas that would connect to. Anyway, it was just, I was like, I'm going to make this as simple as possible for myself and for the staff. So all they have to do is just say, cash tips, like today, this much. And then like this thing happens in the background that gives me a report later, like how much people made in cash tips. So then that allowed me to know what people actually make, per hour. So I know how much people make in cash tips per hour, how much people make in credit card tips per hour. So when hiring, it's a lot easier to communicate that to new employees, like, hey, this is how much you expect to make. So like you have all this information and
data,
so
it's okay. Wow, it's amazing. And actually, you used some Slack to improve that. What did you use to market your place? Which marketing tools did you use to attract new people to your place?
So I must say that literally reaching out, like word of mouth is the best kind of marketing. And what I found worked incredibly well was to reach out to people on Instagram and ask them to leave a review. It works.
Leave the review in Google or in their
whatever platform you need. So I was Yelp. People love to Yelp their negative experiences.
I mean, internet is about that.
But on the other hand, people love to post their positive experiences on Instagram.
Instagram is positive, Yelp is
negative.
Right.
So I was like, we have so many positive experiences. Like every day we have multiple people posting stories, posting, on the grid about how they had this incredible experience at Little Choc. And why isn't that? No, I'm not going to say it's not translating to Yelp because we had a 4.5 average like the entire time. But I was like, why am I seeing so many negative, I guess it's also as an owner, I'm like, any negative review.
I know that 100%. I feel when I had this thing, it's like really like maybe from like 5%, right? It's always like 10% of people will be unsatisfied with something. And it's a great sign to improve something. But at the same time, as an owner, if you manage this aspect, it feels makes you feel like upset.
Yeah.
But this has nothing to do with, it's normal.
Yeah. But still, you know, I was like, no, we need everyone who had a good experience, they need to write about it. So basically my strategy was if somebody posted about us and we, you know, it was like a story and I saw that it was like their first time posting, it means it's their first time at Little Choc. They just had a great experience. And I will say, hey, it would be really helpful if you left us a Yelp review. And they would do it most of the time. And I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I started doing it, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years in. And I was like, I can't believe this.
And like numbers grew up and grew up.
Yeah, we got so many, our reviews doubled. So yeah, I was like,
that's a great,
that's a great. And it's nice when people see, you know, 4.5 stars everywhere. It's.
Yeah, and I guess events, just tell me a story about ASAP Rocky. I want you here, guys.
Yeah, so we had part of the marketing was events, obviously. Yeah. So we actually partnered with this sex club called NSFW. So basically, Little Choc has all these different herbs, and we made. And obviously aphrodisiac herbs. So we made this crepe. It was called the Kink Suzette or something. It was all black. So we used activated charcoal to dye it black. And then inside was this, Damiana is an herb that is aphrodisiac for women.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and then we did like a cherry brandy filling with Damiana.
Gosh, sounds tasty.
It was very good.
I'm getting hungry.
And then this like coconut cream inside too. And so they came in and changed all the light bulbs upstairs to red. And they had dominatrixes. There's like all these sex toys on tables. And they had dominatrixes walking around like giving out crepes.
It's just like crepes, yeah. It's very creative way.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I'm looking downstairs. You can see our dining room is upstairs. And I see there's like a bodyguard outside, like security. And I was like, did somebody order security for the party? I guess, you know, that makes sense. And then I see this guy pop up. And he looks way too excited. He's like, and I'm like, hey, are you on the list?
So surprising, why?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, are you on the list? And he's like, yeah. And he just like walks in. I was like, you're clearly not on the list. He's like looking around like he's not supposed to be there, you know, like real excited about the sex party. And I was like, I'm so sorry. It's a private event. Like you have to be on the list to get in. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then afterwards, my staff were like, Julia, that was ASAP Rocky. He just came in to get like crepes and some smoothies or something and was like, all right, let me check out this sex party. And then he told the staff downstairs that this crazy lady kicked him out. And I was like, I didn't mean to, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Don't act creepy, okay? Act cool.
That's fun.
But,
oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, he should regret that he did not join this party. I'm sure it was amazing.
Yeah. Could have, yeah.
But you kicked out him, from the party. That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, and any like community, did the community around support your business? Did it play any role? I know like right now it's a big like local community support businesses around. Was it your case? You're located in Williamsburg. How was that?
Yeah, so there's like different, I guess, hubs of communities. First of all, the vegan community. Oh my God, like major support. They're the reason why Little Choc was successful in the first place. Gluten-Free community was also a big, Yeah, just because they have a place to come and have anything on the menu and like not get sick. So that's pretty nice. And then people who are vegan and gluten-free, they're just like, oh my God, thank you so much. But also the local community has been amazing. Like during the pandemic when we had to shut down, a lot of businesses were doing GoFundMes. So we did one for Little Choc as well. And people like I did not expect people to donate, and they like came together and raised money for our staff, and it was just like so heartening and so nice. And recently, actually, I spoke to this woman. She was a filmmaker, and she got some grant to do a creative project, and she was like, I want to interview you because I was thinking like, what makes me happy? And I think I just want to sit at Little Choc and have a tea, and like that makes me happy. And she's like, I just wanted to make a video about Little Choc and like how amazing it is, and
that makes my life better.
Yeah,
every day, the little things.
I was shocked. It feels so good to hear those things, you know? So yeah, and I mean, we had a lot of people coming in and saying a lot very similar things. So it was cool.
Yeah, how did you survive the pandemic?
Oh my God. It was...
You survived that.
Survived, yes.
Not many businesses do that.
Yes, but honestly, it was government loans that helped us because, yeah, when we shut down, we had like, I don't know, $1,000 in the bank. So there was nothing. I mean, restaurant margins are tight. Like
I know, it's
people,
tough business.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, I don't know how we can even reopen, because you need money to reopen. You know, for 2 months, you need to reorder inventory and like restart things. Yeah, and I was just like, all right, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then we got, the first with the $10,000 advance, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it was 10,020 something.
Yeah, it was the EIDL. And then we got a couple of other loans, and it was just like, honestly, that's what
helped you.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, if there is something you will know in the beginning, starting a business, what it will be what it will be.
So what I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I guess I wish I knew that I couldn't do everything myself. I had that, people told me that, and they were like, Julia, just don't burn out. Don't burn out, like put yourself first, don't burn out. And I was like, I'm not, I love this. I love it. I will do 12-hour shifts, like it's fine. And then obviously you burn out.
It's not possible
if
you put yourself like everything. It's such a common way, and people just can't handle that.
Yeah. You
need some time for yourself.
Yep. So I wish I hired like a manager sooner. I guess just like put myself first more.
Yeah. Life balance, it's such an important thing for every business owner. Someone who is dealing with the business. Yeah. Any maybe practices did you use to balance your maybe schedule? Time management.
Well,
no,
yeah, it's hard. I mean, I made time. I was like, I signed up for this yoga studio. But I signed up for this thing called Energy Exchange program. It's this hot yoga studio called Modo. Have you been to Modo Yoga?
No, not this one. W7, Y7 I've been.
Oh, I think, they're like the hip hop.
Yes.
That's fun
so
too.
Fun.
But so basically this energy exchange program is where you like help clean up the studio, and you work 1 day a week and you get unlimited classes. So I was like, I work Mondays and I can't do anything at all. Like for this 4-hour shift, I'm just gonna have my podcast playing. I'm gonna be folding towels, and I'm sorry, like if there are any fires, you guys have to deal with them, you know, for 4 hours. I think you got it. So that was like my time. Even though I was working, it was just like relaxing time. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, when you make yourself think about something different. It's just like, even if you do something, like the best rest is to change what you do and refocus.
Yeah.
And if it's yoga related, it's something like amazing.
Yeah, and also I was like, hey, I'm here. I have to do yoga too.
Yeah.
So.
Is that the reason you decided to sell your restaurant today? Why do you do that? It's like 8 years. It works amazing. You have lots of customers.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. I will show like the picture before and after. It's amazing.
That was fun. It was fun, like taking it from the ugly before. It was a lot of brown and beige to like this colorful, cute little place.
Very cute. Yeah.
During the pandemic, when we shut down, I was like, oh my God, it's nice. Like I have nothing. I can knit. I can sit down and like knit. This is so nice. So I was like working on the website, on the Little Choc website, like updating it a little bit. And I built it with this drag and drop tool. And there were certain things on the website that
like
I was
Wix and
I did Weebly.
Weebly. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And there are certain things on the website where I was just like, like I can't make it do what I wanted to do. Like I wish I knew how to code. And then I started learning a little bit of JavaScript, and then that led to like, oh, you can solve problems with this. And solving those problems is like so much fun. It's like I used to do, what are they called? I used to do brain teasers with my dad as a kid. So it's like a book of weird little puzzles that you do, like, you know, like brain puzzles that you solve. And
you know, like some pictures you need to put together, something like that.
Yeah. So you like figure something out, you know, logic puzzles. So coding is like that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just having the best time coding and solving these problems. And also I can fix the button that I was trying to, work on for like the past 6 years, So I was like, I think I like this. And I applied for this scholarship for boot camp. And it was like a free ride. And then I got it, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
I love it.
So I just decided, so I hired a manager for Little Choc, and I was like, okay, I'm stepping away from the day-to-day. I'm gonna, do this, but obviously I was still
in charge.
I mean, I was still spending my nights and weekends, like still managing the manager, basically. So, yeah, and then I got a job at Twitter, and it was like an intense period because it's also a lot of learning.
The CEO came and changed the CEO, like Elon Musk.
Oh yeah. So then I got laid off. I was part of the first layoffs by Elon Musk.
All right.
So that was a fun time.
This is true. This is what everyone talk on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's true.
So, yeah, and then it was like November of 2022 that I got laid off, and I was applying to other jobs, and it was just so much work to be doing Little Choc things, and also looking for another job in tech. And I was just like, I just want to take hats off. Like I spent all this time, my entire life, like putting hats on and like taking challenges on and, just like doing things. And I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to start like living my life and have one responsibility and do things that are like beneficial to me, to my well-being, you know? So I was like, I think we have to shut it down and
to start your new career path.
Yeah. So
wow, it's amazing place. I'm
Thank you.
sad that you close it, but the other side, it's amazing that you found something different where you can grow and do new things.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I just started at Etsy earlier this week, so it's been fun.
How was that?
It's great. Oh my God, the culture at Etsy is just, they are perfection.
All right, I love this company. I like what they do for small business owners, and it's just growing. Like especially during the pandemic when everyone started to do like little candles, little things like neat.
Yeah, it's just so nice to like. Although I won't be a small business owner anymore, I'm like still supporting like thousands of small business owners all over the world. It's like
amazing. What's your role in this company?
I am working on the offsite ads team, so basically facilitating ads on for sellers on like Pinterest and other platforms.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you accomplished lots of other small tech projects. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
Because I saw like you have an amazing website. First
Thank
of all,
you.
like you started to talk about websites and you did an amazing one for yourself.
Thank you.
Which platform did you use and which other projects did you work on?
So that one I didn't, there was no platform. So basically that was like fully with code. Yeah.
Code. Got it.
But yeah, you know, there's like a little bit of an artist somewhere in me. You know, I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I like getting like wild and creative, and you know, like I just enjoy weird challenges. And I was like, okay, well, I can't just have a portfolio website that's like a static page. It needs to be something weird. So I was like, what if it's like a cube, and then you can click sides of the cube, and you know the pages will open up. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's possible, but hey, probably.
I never saw it anywhere before.
So it turned out that it's possible to make it. So you know, I spent some time making it and had a blast, because again, it's like learning all these fun things and like solving different problems to get all the things to work. So that was fun. But before that, it was during my boot camp. It was like one of our final projects, and me being me, I was like, we need to do something ambitious.
Yeah,
it needs to be great. So I was like, why don't we do kind of like a Duolingo for sign language? Just because I wanted to experiment with some machine learning. I've never done that before. So basically we found this model that recognizes hand gestures, and we created a little game that you know, teaches you the different alphabet. So there was like different levels to the game, and it was very cute. I still like to play with it actually, because you know, you just like watch yourself and you you do the little hand gestures. So yeah, it was cool because our professor there said that we should actually continue with this project, and he thinks that it could go somewhere, but we didn't continue with it.
But who knows? Yeah, maybe later or whatever. So such an interesting life way and transition. So basically, you did modeling. Like every girl in the world, not everyone, but lots of girls, it's like a dream job. And then you decided to start entrepreneurship, your restaurant. And how do you feel about that? And then like tech, how do you feel about this transition? How you accomplished that at such different areas?
I think the way I accomplished it right off the bat is just being naive and not knowing what I don't know, you know? And I'm like, yeah, we can do that.
I love it.
And then like taking small pieces and like, okay, yeah, we can do this one small chunk of it, and then like think about the rest later, and then it just ends up happening, you know? So yeah.
Were you afraid to start? It's like to just tech is such a difficult discipline, just generally.
No, because, well, I think also my personality is like, I enjoy the process of learning something. So, even if I don't get anywhere, it's like, well, that was cool. Now I have this in my back pocket. I know something, So it's just satisfying to me to know something. So even if I didn't pursue a full-time career in tech, it would be cool to just know how to build a website.
Yeah, so you actually didn't afraid to fail, and the failure was not something what would stop you from doing that. Yeah, amazing. Are there any books, podcasts which helped you to figure it out, which supported you due to in all those challenges?
Yeah, so there's 2 books that I can think of that helped me with the business, with the restaurant business. So first one is Business Model Generation. It just helps you figure out a good business model. And then the other one was Managing for Happiness. And it was a lot of it was written by a manager, a tech manager. So it was a lot of things like, ring this gong whenever your team sells something. And I was like, yeah, we're not gonna ring any gongs, but you get the gist,
vibe,
you know? Yeah. So yeah, those books are awesome, and I actually gave them to our managers to read as well, the Managing for Happiness. It's a really great book. And for podcasts, The Pitch is a good one, where basically real entrepreneur. It's kind of like Shark Tank. So they pitch to.
I love Shark Tank. Yeah, it's great.
Then there's one called From Start to Sale. So that's people starting a company and then selling it. Then there's Harvard Business Review Idea Cast. That one's interesting, and a lot of different. It's every time it's something different, so it's cool to listen to management tools and ideas, and just I think those are nice. And then there's another one, but I forgot.
That's okay. We could put it later to the list if you wish.
Sure.
Yeah. Is there any advice you will give to someone who decided to pursue their career in entrepreneurship, or maybe to start a restaurant in New York City?
Yeah. Okay, first advice, don't do it. Second advice, don't be afraid of the unknown. Just do it. As long as you enjoy what you're doing, you will succeed. And ask a lot of questions. Make sure to surround yourself with really smart people, and seek out help. There's an expert in everything, everywhere. You can message someone on LinkedIn and ask them for advice. So don't be afraid to ask for advice, because you can't do it without other people.
Yeah, that will be the key. Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you also some maybe technical tools for entrepreneurs which could be useful. So with all your right now background in tech, you have much more background right now than when you started. What else would you use? Maybe some platforms, website, some tips in this area for business
I think
owners?
So. Well, yeah, Slack is awesome. And then also, even though, there's a lot of really great drag and drop website builders. You don't need a person. If you just need kind of a static website, or maybe an e-commerce website or something, you can use a really great tool to do that. You can use Squarespace or something, and you'll have a beautiful website in no time at all. So I would say embrace the drag and drop tools if you
start.
Yeah. And then what other tools? I mean, I really like this scheduling tool called Tick. It's like a to-do list, and you can schedule different. You can have teams, and you can schedule to-do lists for, whatever you want. I do that for home. My husband and I made a to-do list for chores, and
So you exchange between each other?
Oh yeah, we have a shared to-do list for our chores.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he used to be really like, he used to wash the floors all the time, and I just like didn't care. And now that it's on the to-do list, I'm like obsessed. I'm like, oh my God, I need to check this off, like washing the floors. And he's like, you've gone mad. You're like constantly obsessed with the floors. I don't know what's going on. And I was like, it just needed to be on this to-do list. So yeah.
I actually agree with you. We actually also, but we don't have like, we have like Google Calendar obviously shared. So it's good to put some events there and also some like notes which you share and like just to do things. So, and it really helps, like, it's like management between people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you some places to go, like, or something to buy, or it's really great.
Yeah.
Or even at home, right, to do something.
I particularly like the scheduling tasks. So for example, like if we need to dust something, we don't need to dust every day. Like we can repeat that like every month, you know? And I'm already imagining like when we have kids, it's just all gonna be
It will be much more scheduling. This is what I've heard so far. Like be ready.
Yep. So I think just like scheduling stuff is great.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just, you know, maybe I'm
100%. Like I agree with you. No, like it really works and it makes your life easier when you don't think about just those things and you concentrate on your creative process to have some ideas to promote your brand.
Yes, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah, you don't have to think about like what you need to do next.
Yeah, actually it happened with me because some point when I did like my beauty box back in Russia, and I had the mistake that I thought that I can do everything, and at some point I was like sucked in like some negative, maybe some reviews or some like little technical things, routines, which I could delegate to someone. But I didn't do that because I thought like I can do it better than anyone.
Yes.
And that was like my mistake, and I think I've learned from that, and right now I'm trying to do better.
Yeah. Actually, another thing that makes me think of that, virtual assistants.
Virtual assistants, yeah.
Amazing. I also was like, there's no way a virtual assistant can like do a better job than me. No way.
No way.
So basically you just write out, it's like 1 day of training, and you write out like a standard operating procedure. We actually started having them, they became our like mini HR people. So they would post jobs for us and interview candidates and then onboard those candidates with like all the different things that they need to know. It was just like such a time saver, and like you focus on things that matter, you know?
Yeah, as a CEO, you need to focus on more important things like how to develop your brand and to put it on the top. Yeah, that's amazing. So we have this. And my last question. What's your definition of success?
Well, I think success is like, for me, if I'm happy doing something, I'm already successful. But also, if I make an impact in somebody's life or in my own life, you know, like with Little Choc, for example, if I got at least one person to consider a plant-based diet, or even while they're eating at Little Choc, like eat one less animal, I'm like, I am successful, and like today was a good day. So just like making an impact, even the smallest impact with what you do is, I think, defines success.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so happy, and I wish you all the success in your new career path.
Thank you. Same to you. Thanks so much for having me. It was so much fun.
It's pleasant. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching us. I hope to see you next time on She Did It Show, and have a great week. Bye.